Thank you. Hi, everyone, and well done, Slush, for introducing the music business to this venue. So a big round of applause for that. Now, as all of you will know, I get asked a lot, why music? There's no money in music, right? And I know where these people are coming from. If you do look at the sum total yearly output of white matter globally, you will get something in the region of 80 trillion US dollars. And if we sum up all of our streaming, syncing, licensing, live and sponsorships in the music business, well, this is my calculation. You can push me on it, but I'm coming to about 0.07% of the sum total, which is a small slice of a very large market. But there's something wrong in this picture. If we look at a picture of the, a snapshot taken a few days ago of the US markets, and I ask myself, where is music in here? Well, I can see it in a few places, for sure, and probably a few more. Music drives revenues for the most successful technology companies operating in the digital space. And in fact, music has always been technological. Every single music instrument ever invented was a piece of technological innovation. Early music notation is just programming. Take a look at it. And the invention of the invention of the printing press gave us the first music industry, which means we could sell sheet music to the masses for the first time. And electromagnetic recording, of course, gave us the famous format, which still dictates the length of most of our pop tracks today. And it also spun out a whole bunch of technological innovation, mechanical, electronic, so the whole industry devoted to this. And the digital brought us, well, spreadsheets to begin with. But we've actually become really, really good at this. And I think we should all pay attention that we have some skills now that are really important for the moment the industry finds itself now. We're really good at cloud services we've operated for many, many years, and we're really much better than some other sectors. We're brilliant at data. The whole business is data. We have files, metadata, we have feature extraction, descriptors, social. We've done this for years. This is one I designed a long time ago, almost 10 years ago now. And we've topped the lists for successfully funded projects on Kickstarter for all the years that Kickstarter has been operational. And that's because we give a lot of value for less money compared to other sectors such as gaming or filmmaking, for instance. But we also gather people from all sorts of different backgrounds into the music space. So music is a social glue. And I don't mean just geographically. This was a picture taken of the Music Tech Fest when we ran in New Zealand. Music is also glue for different professions, so we unite working cultures. And for them, we provide really fast feedback loops and an alternative method of communication, which is really valuable to them. So we end up pulling people into our space. Now, this is what we found. This is the brainwave quartet from the London Symphony. Well, we worked with the London Symphony Orchestra on Music Tech Fest at the Barbican. And of course, when we bring all these people into the same space, it means that we can tackle challenges, really important challenges, such as blockchain. So this is a white paper generated after Music Tech Fest Berlin. And in this lab, we had people from FinTech and from Accenture, for instance. And if they were to run a testbed in their sector, it would cost them a fortune. And of course, we are really, with all these skills, we're really, really well placed to test all the new interaction in the area of the physical internet. So let's have a look at how we do it, because we tend to bring it into our sphere and focus on performance.
Can't forget about the production cost. Can't forget about the production cost. Can't forget.
So in March 2014, a bunch of notable academics from both sides of the Atlantic met, inspired by Music Tech Fest Boston, and said, okay, we're going to create a manifesto for this field because we believe music technology is important for all fields of research and areas of human activity. And now that was really bold statement, and I thought, how are we ever going to prove this? And the only way to prove these things is to actually make them happen. So 2 years ago, we raised funding to launch a project called Music Bricks, which some of you may have heard of, and I know some of you have been part of. And we launched a whole bunch of APIs, GUIs, and TUIs, tangible user interfaces. This is an early prototype of the tiny Riot microboard for low latency gesture-driven applications with Wi-Fi connectivity. And it became so popular that we ended up with like 5.5 million impacts on social without any marketing whatsoever. And it spanned out a whole bunch of products. So we supported 11 products to level prototype, some of them tackling areas like neuroscience, some of them dealing with accessibility, a whole bunch of papers and book chapters. So the knowledge was just phenomenal, like knowledge spread, and it was really, really fast. And in fact, the process was so fast that in January 2015, we had no toolkit. By the end of May, we had the first seed ideas. By September, we had the first working prototypes, and the first patent search was conducted. And at month 10, the patenting process was initiated. And the reason why we could get there so quickly was also because we set out completely new contracts. We rewrote the contracts for this space, introducing a layer of innovation IP into this area of open innovation. And we introduced new guidelines for market adoption, which benchmarked technology readiness against level of risk, number of early adopters, data yield for early investment. And these guidelines have since been adopted at high level with the European Commission. I happen to advise the European Commission. I represent the music tech and the creative industries and SMEs. And they've been introduced at high level as guidelines for the whole of European industry. So we brought all of this knowledge back into our space. So we gathered all of the Music Bricks teams around Victoria Modesta, the bionic artist, and we got them to use those skills developed through those projects to develop intelligent prosthetics that could generate new effects for the stage, but also enhance her bodily abilities and her brain to give her completely new abilities that other people could aspire to. So we involved a whole bunch of artists from across the spectrum, and again, pulled in all the people from other areas into it. And whenever you open people's interest to this new area, you find that people will sort of invest in it, invest themselves in it, and invest resources. And this ended up with an MIT Media Lab documentary, which is about to be launched, so watch out for the announcement. And the November edition of Wired magazine in the US, created by Barack Obama, about new technology frontiers. And that patent I mentioned earlier, well, it started with music playlisting, and it turned out there was this phenomenal new groundbreaking application for machinery that's used in forestry and agriculture. And that's a huge market. So if anybody asks you, why music? Well, I would recommend invest in music technology innovation because it sets the bar for other industry. Thank you.